Yeah. Okay, so what I've got here is my current predictions for Bitcoin's price movement on the 4 hour. So, of course, on the 1 day, I've had this big drop. But actually, over the past 3 days, we've had some positive movement, whilst we've had a really high volatility. We've got stochastic momentum. It's now pushing up. 4 hour, we actually had over here, we had a higher low, which is looking quite good. And currently, I believe we're in this formation here. We've got data kind of closing in, and that's backed by volatility is reducing as the data is kind of being pushed into the end of this needle. And I think my prospects is, I think most likely, honestly, it's going to go up. I think there might be a little bit of it might mess around here a bit, and then have like a big push. Be careful, because I think a fake out around here, whilst volatility, if you look here on the 1 hour, it's really come down now. Looking at this big move, you constantly had volatility, just really red and orange, and now it's blue, it's green. It's very low in the percentile. What does this mean? It means that when volatility does eventually come up, I think there's going to be a big push in one direction or another. And yeah, like I said, I think it's most likely up, just based off of a bunch of indicators, mostly kind of the 1 day. I also back tested looking at when the BBWP here, when you've got the white line touching this, the color line, and then it crosses over, you usually get a shift in movement. And currently it's touching, it's about to change. So I'm thinking maybe, as this comes down like that, it'll probably come down more like probably like this. Then it's probably gonna move up. Again, probably. That's what I think, at least. Looking at implied volatility currently, it's come down a lot, but it's still pretty high. If you look at especially the 6 month, you can really see how high the volatility was before. It went from 60 to 110, pretty much doubled in a week or two. Yeah, but then it's gone from 110 to 87. So it's really pulled back. Now for options, this means that starting to get better deals on buying calls and puts, and selling calls and puts. Actually, I was looking, the deals aren't as good as they were before. So I'd say right now, stay away from selling calls and puts, start looking into buying. It's still overpriced though. It's still too high. As you can see, 1 day, volatility is still flashing red. 4 hour is starting to come down. You can see it's green there, and of course on the 1 hour, it's really low. So for short time frame, volatility options trading, I'd say consider. I'm currently looking into 4 or 5 day contracts. Now if I just check, so another really important thing I wanted to look into is the current situation with altcoins. Now, more specifically, a few altcoins that I'm currently investing in that I just want to show you lot. Now, first of all, look at that. We've got Chainlink here, which is currently my biggest altcoin position. I've moved my assets from options trading to altcoin trading right now, because I think there are some insanely undervalued altcoins right now. We just had that big Terra fiasco, and Bitcoin's been plummeting. who's buying altcoins? Like, literally no one, as the data says. They're plummeting. Everyone's selling them. What does this mean? It means you can get some incredible deals on altcoins. Looking at Chainlink here, for example, as a big one. Very good coin with lots of good utility, and good real world application. And the price is just so low, especially as a long-term investment. I would heavily advise investing in Chainlink. Now, a few others that are a bit more speculative that I'm trading, that I've got smaller positions in. This one here, RSR. Now this, I think it's easier to see if I go on here. Let me just find it. Because what is it? This doesn't show all of the data. If I go max here, yeah, this gives you a better idea, right? So during the bull run, you had big price, did very well. Now all the altcoins are doing terrible. It's plummeted. Now my theory is that once crypto gets back on track, once Bitcoin gets back on track, and then once the altcoins start to shine again, then coins like these are going to start returning to these kind of price levels. And bear in mind, if we were say to go, I mean, hell, if it was to go back to the original peak it was at, which bear in mind that's ridiculously optimistic, but you're looking at that's like a 2,000% increase. Of course it's risky, very risky, but the risk to reward is good because the reward is just so high, and that's why I'm looking into them. Another one I've been looking into a lot is something called Aragon. I think I mentioned this one before. Yeah, this is so this is where I entered here, but around this white line. As I said, it was a very small entry, which I'm happy it was, because it went down about 60%. It's come back up a bit, and I've made lots of big reinforcements at the bottom here. Of course, I've literally no leverage, because it's so speculative. But again, if I was to look at Ant, it looks even more promising, actually, I think, than the other cryptocurrency. And with this as well, usually as a technical analysis, I don't really care what the coin does. I just look at the data. But I've been looking into what Aragon's been up to recently, and I think they're rebuilding, or they're updating their smart contracts or something. And look at this data here. It hasn't been this low in a very long time, and I think when that bull run comes again, it's going to skyrocket. The data's been moving up, price has been slowly increasing. You look at 2018 peak, it did better in 2021, did even better with the later peak, which is a very positive signal. A lot of the altcoins if you look at if I just get back on Bitcoin to the US dollar, what happened is they did really well here, but they didn't really go that much higher here, even though Bitcoin went a lot higher. So it's a very positive signal to see it doing that. And it's dropped so much that this is dropped 60% in the past couple of days, and this is currently a very good deal. Another one I was looking into actually as well. There's a bunch of them. Let me just go back on that. Something called LPT, I think was this one. This one's a bit more speculative. I have a very small position on this one. I'm not really as sure about this one, honestly. Let's go max. Is this coin? Oh no, this is CoinGecko. Oh no, it's actually working. It wasn't working for me before. Yeah, same kind of deal, except in this case, it went a lot higher in the second peak, which very positive signal, but it's very temporary. But then again, it's not returning to the previous kind of lows that we saw before, like with Aragon. So I'm not as sure with this coin, but I still think for, again, thinking about risk to reward ratio, statistical probabilities, it looks promising as a trade or as an investment. I think that's that's everything I've covered. I mean, one more thing, by the way, is if you want to look into how altcoins act compared to Bitcoin during bull and bear runs, I would heavily advise looking at Litecoin, because Litecoin has data going back to 2013, and it's been one of the biggest altcoins for a very long time now, and it's really interesting looking at how it acted when Bitcoin was doing very well, when it wasn't doing very well. And I think I like to say that a lot of these altcoins can be unpredictably predictable, right? You look at Litecoin here, for example, you just keep buying in those low regions when Bitcoin isn't doing well. And I mean, look here, like if you bought $46, you sell there. What is that? You have like 400, 900% increase. Of course, high risk, but then the reward is extremely high. So as long as you're putting in small investments, then it's fine. But that's kind of it for today. There was a lot to cover today, but I think there are some really big opportunities in the market. I would advise you be careful, but there are some very lucrative opportunities that I'm seeing here and I'm currently investing in. And I would advise that you do as well. Of course, be careful. Like I said, small investments because of the high risk. Don't use leverage, especially not these small altcoins. They're so unpredictable, and you need to give them some margin. But yeah, I mean that's kind of it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.